Hey, welcome back. Have you ever wondered if you could use a wind meter to read the wind in real time while shooting and shoot excellent scores at 1,000 yards? Well, I have. So I decided to go try it at the first match of the year at the Rattlesnake Range in Benton City, Washington. Now, with all the various wind meters that I have available to me, the Wind Zero is the best of the bunch. So I put it up directly beside me on the firing line to read the wind in real time. Using the Wind Zero app's apparent wind display, I can see the exact crosswind component of the wind in real time, at least within the latency of the system, which is only 1 to 2 seconds. At the same time, it computes the correction for that crosswind based on my input deflection per mile per hour. So I have minutes of angle on this bottom line down here. To make it easier for you to see what's going on, I put the downrange camera at the top here with the 3 flags that are visible to me at the firing line. Now there is a 4th flag over here, but that's 100 yards from the firing point, and the camera is pointed at it from a different angle. So that's not a very good indicator. Ignore that one for anything but speed. Now these 3 up here, this closest one is about 550 yards from the firing line. The next one is about 700 yards from the firing line, and the last one is approximately 900 yards from the firing line. This should give you an indication of what's going on downrange. But again, this is the downwind side of the range. The wind is coming from the left, not the right. So these are even going to have some latency to them as well. Unfortunately, the left side flags are way over to the left and impossible to get in frame and still see the mirage, well, pointed the right direction. So you're going to have to read the mirage, the flags, and the Wind Zero simultaneously to see what the wind was at the shot. And by the way, I'm going to use my trigger cam to show you where I'm pointing the rifle. All that together is going to be impossible to do in real time, so I went ahead and did the hard work frame by frame and calculated the exact point of impact as predicted by the Wind Zero for each and every shot when it was fired. You'll see a green dot like this on the shot marker display showing you the predicted point of impact based on the Wind Zero indication at the moment the rifle was fired. No latency there. The human can't do that, but we want to see how the wind meter compares to reality. So let's get into the shooting. I cut out a lot of the wait time as I tried to figure out what the hold was from shot to shot, and finally gave up and said I'm only going to shoot when I have approximately 3 minutes of wind showing on the Wind Zero. To start, I dialed 3 minutes of wind onto the rifle because that's what the Wind Zero was showing as kind of the average. All right, guys, let's get to it. Now don't give up on me yet. Wait to the end and I'll tell you the conclusions and what I learned from this experiment. Watch it all the way through to the end of the shooting. All right, guys, so is there something wrong here? No, absolutely not. This falls directly into the basket of what I told you before about leading and lagging indicators. This wind zero was sitting as far downwind on the range as was humanly possible because it was a headwind, which means every change in wind had to get to the sensor before it could read it. In other words, it changed downrange long before it changed where this was. That's why you would see the point of impact shift back and forth across the predicted point of impact. As wind increased and decreased, you would see that shift back and forth. because this was lagging on the wind. So for any wind system, the value of it is dependent on the wind angle. If the wind is a direct crosswind without any obstacles between you and the incoming wind, it's probably going to be dead on the money and a very, very good tool for figuring out what the wind is. If, on the other hand, you have a quartering headwind, it is, well, exactly what you saw. If you have a tailwind of any sort, you're going to get advance notice of a change in the wind, which could help you a little bit. You still have to think about when that change is going to affect the majority of the range and change your point of impact. But it's good to know whether the crosswind component is increasing or decreasing at any given moment in time, so you can lead the dance and win the match. Now, I'm not going to get into whether wind indicating systems are legal or not in F-class. There's been quite the debate online about it, and I'm just going to stay out of it. If you have questions about that, send the NRA an email. Now, I also did this experiment with a different wind sensor and Strelock Pro. If you want to see that relay, let me know in the comments below and I'll put it together for you. Until next time, shoot straight. Think about your wind system and how you're calling the wind, because you need to see it coming and anticipate it in order to break that shot that goes right in the middle. And I'll see you in the next video.